The lonely mountain loomed in Thorin Oakenshield's dreams, its jagged peak piercing the heavens like a blade. Erebor, the greatest kingdom of the dwarfs, was more than stone and gold. It was the heart of his people, the legacy of his fathers, and the fire in his blood. Yet, it lay under the shadow of Smaug, the fire drake who had driven the dwarfs into exile, leaving Thorin a king without a crown. For 170 years, the memory of that loss gnawed at him, a wound that time could not heal. Was Thorin's quest to reclaim Erebor doomed from the start? The question hung over him like a storm cloud as he stood in the Blue Mountains, far from the glory of his ancestors. The odds were grim, a dragon of unmatched power, a mountain fortress sealed by ancient gates, and a company of 13 dwarfs, 1 hobbit, and an enigmatic wizard. Yet, Thorin's heart burned with a resolve that defied reason. This is the tale of that quest, a story of courage, hubris, and the inexorable pull of fate. In the halls of Erebor Doomed, Thorin ruled a diminished people. The dwarfs of the Blue Mountains were hardy, but their forges produced tools, not treasures. The wealth of Erebor was a distant memory, replaced by toil and survival. Thorin, now 195 years old, bore the weight of his lineage. He was the heir of Thror, the last king under the mountain, and the grandson of Thrain, who had vanished seeking Erebor's secrets. The Arkenstone, the heart of the mountain, haunted Thorin's thoughts, a gem said to bind the dwarf's loyalty and prove his rightful claim. It was in Erebor Doomed that Gandalf the Grey found him. The wizard, cloaked in mystery, spoke of signs and stirrings in the east. Smaug has not been seen in 60 years, Gandalf said, his eyes glinting. The dragon grows idle, and the mountain lies unguarded. The time is now, Thorin, to reclaim what is yours. Thorin's heart stirred, but doubt lingered. A dragon is no mere foe, Gandalf. And I have no army, only kin and loyal followers. Then you shall have a company, Gandalf replied. Not of soldiers, but of those with heart and cunning. And I know of a burglar who may tip the scales. Thus began the gathering of the company, Dwalin, fierce and loyal, Balin, wise and cautious, Kili and Fili, Thorin's young nephews, eager for glory, Dori, Nori, and Ori, bound by brotherhood, Oin and Gloin, skilled in healing and fire, Bifur, Bofa, and Bomba, stout-hearted craftsmen, and Bilbo Baggins, the hobbit of Bag End, bewildered by his own recruitment. 13 dwarfs, 1 hobbit, and a wizard against a dragon and a mountain of peril. Was the quest doomed? Thorin's pride clashed with the reality of their small number. Yet, the map of Erebor, passed down from Thror, and the key to the secret door, ignited a spark of hope. The prophecy of the ravens, ancient allies of the dwarfs, whispered that the king's return would herald victory. Thorin chose to believe, for to doubt was to surrender. The journey began under a waxing moon, the company departing Erebor Doomed with songs of old. Thorin led with a grim determination, his axe at his side and the weight of his father's ring on his finger. The road was long, winding through forests and over hills, each step a test of their resolve. Trouble found them swiftly. In the Trollshaws, 3 stone trolls nearly made a meal of the company. Bilbo's attempt at burglary failed, and only Gandalf's cunning saved them, turning the trolls to stone with the dawn. Thorin's frustration grew. How could such a bumbling hobbit be their salvation? Yet, the trolls' horde yielded weapons of Gondolin, including Orcrist, the goblin cleaver, which Thorin claimed as his own. The blade felt like a sign, a relic of ancient glory. In Rivendell, Elrond, the elf lord, offered respite but little warmth. The elves and dwarfs shared a strained history, and Thorin's pride bristled at Elrond's scrutiny. The elf read the moon letters on Thror's map, revealing the secret door's location. Stand by the grey stone when the thrush knocks, and the setting sun with the last light of Durin's day will shine upon the keyhole. The words were a beacon, but Elrond's warning chilled Thorin's heart. No blade or arrow can pierce Smaug's hide. Your quest courts death. Was doom woven into their path? Thorin rejected Elrond's counsel, seeing it as elvish disdain. Yet, Balin whispered doubts. If Smaug cannot be slain, what hope have we? Thorin silenced him, clinging to the prophecy and the Arkenstone's promise. The company pressed on, leaving Rivendell with supplies but heavier hearts. The misty mountains loomed, their peaks clawing the sky. The company braved treacherous paths, battered by storms that seemed to mock their quest. In a cave, seeking shelter, they were ambushed by goblins. Thorin fought fiercely, Orcrist singing as it slew, but the company was overwhelmed and captured. In the goblin tunnels, Thorin faced the great goblin, whose mockery of the king under the mountain stung like a lash. The creature's taunts revealed a deeper truth. The world had moved on, and Erebor was a fading legend. Rescue came through Gandalf's magic, but the escape was chaotic. Bilbo, separated from the group, emerged with a mysterious ring, a detail he kept secret. The mountains tested Thorin's leadership. His nephew's recklessness, the company's dwindling supplies, and Bilbo's apparent uselessness frayed his patience. Worse, the wargs and goblins pursued them, forcing a desperate stand in the trees. Gandalf's fire and the eagle's intervention saved them, but Thorin was wounded, his pride battered. Was the quest cursed? The eagle's aid felt like a fleeting mercy, not a turning tide. Mirkwood was a nightmare of shadow and despair. The forest's enchantments dulled the company's senses, and their provisions ran dry. Thorin's resolve wavered as hunger gnawed, but he pressed on, driven by the map's promise. Bilbo, now wielding his ring, proved his worth, saving the dwarfs from giant spiders. Yet, Thorin's gratitude was tempered by suspicion. What power did the hobbit hide? Captured by Thranduil, the elven king of Mirkwood, Thorin faced a new trial. Thranduil demanded a share of Erebor's treasure, claiming it as recompense for past grievances. Thorin's refusal was absolute, his pride a fortress. Imprisoned, he brooded on his lineage, the Arkenstone, and the dragon. Bilbo's cunning freed them, smuggling the dwarfs in barrels down the river, but Thorin's heart hardened. The elves were enemies, and trust was a luxury he could not afford.